Hello everyone, it's Jen. Welcome to my first project for 2020 for Not Too Shabby. Today I'm going to be creating a masculine card using the Penguin Palace Lucky Break stamp set. This stamp set is so cute. And I'm bringing in a couple of the images from the Let's Get Crafty, and Jamie has both of these stamp sets available in the shop. There is a new coupon code to use to save 10% off your order, which is N2S10. So N2S10. I will leave that down below, as well as a link to the store and all the products that I'm using. So we're streamlining the coupon code because I'm not sure if you've heard, but there are now 15 design team members. So make sure to head on over to the Stampers Facebook page to meet and see all the incredible inspiration from the designers this year. So I'm well on my way into the coloring here, and today I'm going to be talking about some tips for some masculine cards. And the first tip is thinking about your theme. So I picked this stamp set on purpose. I thought it would be great for masculine cards. If you're anything like me, I typically have a bit of a harder time making masculine type cards or cards for young teenage boys. So I thought this would be a fun little stamp set to play with. And I'm using saturated colors, so some deep, darker, rich colors. So that would be another tip I have for you when creating masculine cards. So you saw there I did a nice rich brownish red for the fox. Now this little guy that I'm coloring here, I think he could be a cat, or I'm coloring him as a tiger. And so I'm using some oranges here. Once I get my coloring finished, I feel like he's a bit too much of a bright orange, so you'll see how I fix that a little bit later on. I'm just coming back here with my darkest marker. This is something I'm really enjoying doing, where once I have the image colored, I come back with the darkest marker, blend that out a little bit with the medium color, and then leave that to blend with the wet ink that's already laid down. So for the white, I'm going to do quite a bit darker of a color here. This goes with kind of the saturated colors for this card. So I'm bringing in W5, W3, and W1, and I'm going to blend that out with my colorless blender. I was kind of going for that old movie poker scene feel where it's kind of a dark, smoky atmosphere. So I thought that adding the dark W5 would really kind of give that feeling to the card. For my cat here, I'm using the same color combination, and I'm just going to add a little bit of that W1 as the highlight down the middle of his back, using mostly the mid-tone, the W3, with a bit of the W5 for the highlight, and I'm going to color his stripes in with the W5. And now I'm going to move on to the poker table. So I'm starting out here with a 3-color blend. I'm using G46 as my darkest, G94 as the mid-tone, and G21 as my lightest. You're going to see here, once I get this fully colored, I am going to bring in a darker marker. I just felt like I wasn't getting that depth that I wanted, and it wasn't matching the contrast that I had with the fox. But I wasn't quite sure what the perfect color combination of green would be for this poker table. So you can see here I'm bringing in the G28, and this is going to darken up those corners quite a bit. I'm laying the darkest markers around the sides of the table to make it look round, and then along the top because the fox would cast a shadow. And then I'm going to blend that out with the G46 and move down the markers there. For the gold poker chips and the sun, I'm going to use a 2-color blend only. I'm using YR24 and YR21, and I am going to bring that Y24 back once I have those 2 colors blended, and just add a little bit of that darker color back onto those images. I thought I would do the little siding there of the table in the same color just to give it a little bit of variation from the brown that I'm going to color the poker table in. And I did the little cuffs on the tiger's jacket in that gold color as well. So for the table, I'm using a 4-color blend. From darkest to lightest, I'm using E27, E25, E23, and E13. Again, I'm laying the shadows on the sides of the poker table to make it look round, as well as the sides of the base, again, to give it that round feeling. Adding some shadows underneath the top of the table where the base meets the top, and then also adding some of those darkest markers around the fox as well, who will cast a shadow onto that table. So just moving through those colors, leaving the center for the E13, which is my lightest. I'm going to go ahead and color the mountain with the same markers as well. So I'm trying to continue those colors throughout the images here for my card, just to keep some continuity throughout it. I decided to go ahead and color the chair the same as well. I'm not going to use all 4 colors though. It was just too tiny of areas to get all those colors in, so I'm going to use the E27, the E25, and the E23 for the chair. Next, I'm going to move on to the jeans for our little tiger, and I'm using my favorite dark blue color combination for denim. So again, darkest to lightest using B99, B97, B95, and then B93. I'm also going to carry this color into the sky of our painting, as well as the longer rectangular, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be gold bars and I'm just coloring them blue or what they are, but I'm going to color them in the blue just to have some more blue throughout the card. Once I get done coloring the blue, I'm going to move on to the jacket of the tiger. I really didn't know what color to do that in, and I didn't want to bring in any new colors, so I'm just going to use some beige colors here. I thought it could be like a wool sweater or something that he's wearing, his favorite lucky poker sweater. So I'm going to use the E35, the E33, the E53, and the E51. And I end up coloring his shoes in the same color as well, again, just because I didn't want to bring in any additional colors. I do color the little shirt on the fox in the same color as well. Now, I definitely think you could color up these critters to be female or male. I think the fox could definitely be a female character if you know someone in your life who likes to play poker or cards or whatever, any type of table gambling. Just doing the frame on the picture as well, again, just to tie in that color. And to finish off the coloring, I'm going to bring in my C1 and the colorless blender for the cards. I'm going to use a piece of this knit pattern paper from Fawn. This is the Knit Picky Fall 6x6 pattern paper, and this pattern paper is still available, and it will be listed below if you're interested. I thought it picked up really nicely with the golden yellow that I used, as well as the orange for the tiger. Now for the focal point for the scene, I'm just using some pumice stone Distress Oxide for the wall. I'm keeping this very clean and simple. This would be another tip for creating masculine cards, keeping it simple, using few embellishments. I mean, you can break the rules. I don't really think there are rules in card making. These are just some tips if you are like me and you struggle a little bit with making masculine cards. So I used an oval die here, and I cut out the piece of pattern paper with the oval and then cut it in half. And I'm going to use that kind of like a rug underneath the poker table. Here's where I'm bringing in my E13 marker to dull back some of that bright orange of the tiger, just to make him a little bit more richer and deeper in color so that he matches the scene a bit better. And I'm really happy with the way that turned out. All of the shading will still be there because we've already gone ahead and done that with the other markers. So if your color turns out not how you expected it, you can always go over it with a single marker to get it closer to what you were hoping for. So now I'm just going to arrange my images here onto my card base. I wanted that picture to the left-hand side between them just to give some interest to the back of the little scene that I'm creating here. And I chose to add the little cat from the Let's Get Crafty stamp set just to fill in that right-hand side a little bit more. And I like how that balances out the scene. For the sentiment, I'm using one that comes in the Lucky Break stamp set that says, "May the odds be ever in your favor," which I absolutely fell in love with because it reminded me of one of my favorite books and movies, The Hunger Games. So I'm just going to curl up this sentiment here so that it runs along the bottom oval shape of the rug. And this just adds a little bit of interest without having to do much to the card and keeping it simple. So there's ways that you can add some interest to your clean and simple masculine cards without much work. And this is one of the ways to do that. So you can get creative with your sentiments. So I'm going to stamp that out a couple times with my Versafine Clair Nocturne ink. And then I can go ahead and add this to my card base. And we have a clean and simple masculine card. So here's a close-up picture. I am going to use this stamp set again later this month, so stay tuned for that. Here are a couple more videos to keep you occupied until my next one. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Please subscribe if you haven't so that you can continue to be notified of my content. And I will see you really soon in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye.